Yo sup, yo sup. Welcome back to part 4 and our first combo video. Now, these combo videos are going to be dealing with specifically the Yang half, and that is pretty much exclusive to our Jiao combo. Now, Jiao, since he cannot, his effect to discard 2 and special summon 2 from the deck cannot be used when you control another monster, they usually cannot go further than what I'm about to show you, unless you have either pendulum scales, or if you have not used the normal summon and you have another Yang in your hand, or you have a powerful spell card such as Soul Charge or Instant Fusion for Northern. But most of the time it's going to be restricted just to what you can do with Jiao lone effect. Now, Jiao combos are heavily influenced by two things. One of them being what exactly you discard with Jiao. Obviously, discarding Chiwen is going to open up a lot of options. Discarding the spell traps and the Yangzings, which are higher than level 4, are not going to open up any additional options, whereas discarding the little ones will. And the other thing that influences what you can do with Jiao on your first turn is if you know what your opponent is playing or not. Because a lone Jiao will be able to summon a mono dark Chelfing, a dark water Chelfing, a mono light Chelfing, or a mono earth Chelfing. Now, these all have some pretty decent blowout applications against your opponent depending on what they're playing. Like mono light can lock out Tellarknights, for example. Mono earth, you can lock out Despots or whatever it is that you're playing against. But if you do not know what you are playing against and you open Jiao, two irrelevant cards, irrelevant Yangzing spell traps to discard, and two brick cards such as Double Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Now this is a pretty bad hand, and you're only going to be relying on 3 cards in your first turn. So what can you do? Well, let's see. So we normal summon our Jiao discard out 2 Yangzing cards. At this point, I like to summon Zefra and Chiwen. Now, I like to summon Chiwen instead of any of our other 0 defense targets at this point because we want Chiwen in the grave for future turns since it opens up a lot of plays. We're going to Synchro summon into Baxia. Baxia destroys Chiwen, bringing back Jiao, and at this point, you have a few options. Chiwen can special summon Bixie from our deck, and this will let us go into the Herald of Arclight, which can be good against certain decks. Now, of course, I did mention that you're not supposed to know what your opponent is playing against, but if they're playing a milling based deck, you can stop them pretty hard with a Herald of the Arclight. Other options include summoning Suani from the deck of Chiwen and just ending your turn here. What this allows you to do is use Suani's effect to synchro summon on your opponent's turn into a level 6 such as Metaphys Horus. Now, Metaphys Horus is going to be 2800 attack, and it will also permanently negate any face-up card on your opponent's side. So this can negate some pretty important things that is not chainable, such as Clifford Scout. You can permanently negate it, and it's just going to be a vanilla 9 scale staying there for the rest of the game, well, until they get rid of it. Chiwen can also summon a second Zefra from the deck. Now at this point, if you can empty your hand, you can summon Void Ogre Dragon, and this is a pretty decent opening field. It's what I usually go for when I open like this. You can also summon any generic level 8 such as Cyframe Lord Omega if you cannot empty your hand. And this can be another pretty okay-ish field for these brick openings that have Taotie and nothing else. Now, next up, we are going to be doing some Taotie combos where we discard something relevant. So, let's see what we can do if Bian was discarded for Taotie. So Taotie summons Zefra and Suwani this time. Now we are going to Synchro summon into Baxia. Baxia is going to destroy our Suwani, summoning Bian from the graveyard. Suwani's effect triggers, and this summons a Chiwen from our deck. And you can, in turn, with these 3 monsters on board. This field will not lose to Raigeki because you have double floaters. On your opponent's turn, upon discovering what exactly it is they are playing, you can use Bian's effect to synchro summon into a mono light shelving if that is what they are weak against. Or if they try to do something that would mill, like activate a solar recharge, or if they summon a Dante, or if they activate reasoning, you can chain Bian's effect to summon Herald of the Arclight, which is going to battle immune this time, and at the same time, we've managed to put a Chiwen in the grave. So this is definitely the best combo you can do if you just discarded a single Bian. So if we just discard a Chiwen and something useless like a creation, what exactly can we do with this hand? Alright, so Taotie, discard Chiwen and creation. This summons Zefra and a Bian from your deck. Synchro summon for Baxia. Baxia destroys our Bian, summons Taotie from the grave. Chiwen special summons itself, and Bian is going to summon a second Zefra from the deck. Here we synchro summon into Baxia and activate or set a useless spell or trap. So maybe we had a dead Odd Eyes because we opened 2 of them. We can activate our Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Our second Baxia blows it up, summoning Bian from the grave. We can overlay our 2 Baxias for a Felgrand. And that gives us, on their turn again, we can quick synchro into a Herald. So discarding Chiwen is going to give us a field of Felgrand Herald. If Felgrand is not very useful in that particular matchup, for example, if you're playing against Cosmos, you can just leave your Baxias on the field as they are, because well, any deck that runs 2,800 attack floaters that they can summon easily, Felgrand is not going to have a good time with them. Now, a lot of people have asked, why do I end on a field like this instead of summoning Herald of the Arclight on my own turn and passing? Now, the advantage of summoning Herald of Arclight on your own turn is you can negate things when you can try and negate things when they activate quick plays, for example, in the draw or standby phase of their turn, since Zings can only quick synchro on your opponent's main or battle phase. The other advantage of preemptively arc-lighting is they cannot activate cards that would mill for cost. So they cannot activate things like Charge of the Light Brigade, which mills 3 for cost. Now, the disadvantage of this is you're weak to things like Raigeki, because if they Raigeki you, you're forced to negate it, and then they can activate their reasonings or their pendulum scales or whatever. That is going to be very important. They're more important spell cards. Whereas if you just end on a field like this, assuming that Chiwen was not brought back by its own effect, if they Raigeki you, you can just let it go, like all Frozen style. You know, Bian can summon another Chiwen from your deck. Chiwen can summon another Bian from your deck, and you still have that option to quick synchro into a battle immune Herald of the Arclight on your opponent's turn. If Chiwen was brought back by its own effect and would get banished if they Raigeki you, for example, in this combo, you can use Bian's effect to quick synchro into a Chelfing. Raigeki is going to resolve. Bian is going to be able to summon a random Zing from your deck, such as Chiwen, because we like Chiwens in the graveyard. Chelfing is going to be able to search us a tuner, such as Jiaotu, or you can do it the other way around. Summon the Jiaotu, have the Chiwen in your hand. It depends if they can get over 2,000 or not. Now, some more things you can discard for Jiaotu that is relevant would be a combination of Chiwen and something else. For example, if we discarded Chiwen and Pulau with Jiaotu, this is going to end in a pretty impressive field. So, Jiaotu discards Chiwen and Pulau, summons Zefra and Bian. Synchro summon into our Baxia. Baxia destroys Bian, summoning back Pulau. Chiwen summons itself, and Bian summons a second Zefra from your deck. And you can just end with this board. Now, Pulau is going to be able to quick synchro on your opponent's turn once again for the mono light Chelfing. We can synchro for a spell immune Baxia that is going to spin 3 cards back to their deck, up to 3 cards. And we can synchro for any level 7 we want on their turn. So, you know, this could be a Yazi. So if they try to Raigeki you, you can quick synchro into Yazi, and then you'll have 2 floaters to play with. Again, you could summon a Bien and a Chiwen from your deck. When Raigeki resolves, then that gives you the quick access to Herald of the Arclight again. You can summon other 7 such as Moonlight, which is going to be able to bounce 1 monster back to their hand. So, pretty good. You can even go for Black Rose on their turn, nuke the whole field when things get a little bit crazy if you run these things. You can summon control cards such as Clearwing Synchro Dragon even. So you have a lot of options with that field. It's a very reactive field. Jiao2 is going to discard Chiwen and Bixi, for example. Now these symbols, these combos are very similar, as you might find out. Baxia destroys Bien, summons Bixi from the grave. Chiwen summons itself. Bien summons the second Zefra nuke from the deck. And this gives you the option again of Mono Light Chaofeng. It depends what you want to get. Once again, I'm gonna use the Raigeki scenario. If they Raigeki this field, you can quick synchro into your Mono Light Chaofeng. This is gonna add a tuner to your hand when it dies. This is going to add a Zefra or Yang Zing spell or trap to your hand, so you're going to have 3 Yang Zings in the grave. You can search a path. Or if you have one scale but not the other, this can search Oracle of the Zefra to complete your scales, which lets you pendulum summon double Zefra new. And Bixi, when it dies, is going to let you summon 1 Yang Zing from your deck. So again, a very reactive field. This is going to let you summon a trap immune, light, water, and earth Chaofeng. So maybe once you discovered what they're playing, you can summon that Chaofeng and hopefully be completely devastating. These 3 guys can also quick synchro into a trap immune Trishula on your opponent's turn. That sounds pretty devastating if you're up against Cosmos or something. Now, going back a turn, where we summoned the Zefra new off the Bien. If we're running the Taotie, we can totally summon that. Just depends if you run it or not. If you run him, the options change, so you don't have the option to summon your Chaofeng or your you don't have the option to summon your 3 material Chaofeng. You still can summon your 2 material Chaofeng. You don't have the option of Trishulid on your opponent's turn, but you do have the option of quick synchroing into a trap immune Baxia, spinning 3 cards back to their deck on their turn, which is most of the time more devastating actually than Trishula. This field also has the option of going into Metaphors that is going to permanently negate something. So yeah, another very good field. Alright, welcome back to Yang Zing Combos. Now, previously I just mentioned that whether or not you run the Taotie in your deck or not, because he is level 5 and he can brick, but if the Taotie is in your deck, it does open up some more options. Now, although Taotie is level 5 and it's not as good as the level 6 Zefra new as a synchro material on your turn. Taotie, unlike Zefra new, has the quick synchro ability on your opponent's turn. What this means, going back to our Jiao2 discarding 2 of the most irrelevant Yang cards, is that synchro summon for Baxia pop Chiwen summons Jiao2. It does mean that at this point, Chiwen can summon Taotie from your deck, and you can end on a field like this. And this lets you synchro summon for Black Rose, Moonlight Rose, or anything along those lines, any level 7 on your opponent's turn. So that might just be something to consider when you're deck building, if you want to include the Taotie or not. Alright, now last but not least, in my opinion, the most you can do with just the lone Jiao2 and any 2 Yang cards is when you discard a Chiwen and one of these 3 along with it. So either Suani, Bian, or Zefraxi. Zefraxi might be the most common because you can search him off Oracle. But yeah, we'll just do this combo using Bian as an example. So we normal summon our Jiao2, discard our Chiwen and our Bian. Here we want to summon a Zefra new and the same, the Yang Zing floater that's the same as the guy you discarded, or same level as the guy you discarded. So we're going to summon a second Bian. Now this is why I run double Bian, double Suani, just for openings like this. We're going to synchro summon into Baxia. Baxia is going to destroy Bian to special summon Bian from the grave. Chiwen special summons itself from the grave. Bian triggers to summon Suani from the deck. And you can just end your board like this. On your opponent's turn, we have the option of Battle Immune Herald. We have the option of Mono Light Chalfing. We have the option of plus 500 Battle Immune Baxia Spinning 3. And for very niche circumstances, if you have the extra space to run it, we can also synchro summon for a 3100 defense Samsara, which, as I mentioned before, does not miss timing. So if they're trying to make all your guys miss timing, you can synchro for Samsara. They blow up your field. Samsara triggers, you can special summon your Baxia from the grave, or you can special summon a Yang Zing from your grave, depending on if they have a big monster left or not, which can save you. Now, if you discarded Chiwen and Suani in the first step, for example, you're going to be summoning Zefra new and Suani, so you want to summon the same guy as you discarded. If Jiao2 discarded Zefraxi, you're going to need to summon Bian and Zefra new. Now, discarding Zefra does mean you're going to end with a Zefra instead of a BN. Now Synchro with this field is good because Zefra goes to the extra deck for later uses in Pendulum Summoning. However, it does mean that the hero you make with these two will not be battle immune. But one more advantage would be that, say if you had a Oracle up, Oracle of Zefra up, Synchro Summoning with the Zefra is going to allow you to stack whatever monster you want to the top of your deck. That can be an added bonus worth considering. But most of the time, the battle immune aspect is going to be better than the pendulum aspect. And I believe that is the extent to which you can take a lone Taotie and 2 Yangzings to discard with nothing else. You can pull off some cool plays. Alright, so this combo is a bit different. This is not a first turn setup combo, this is going to be an OTK combo. And with Taotie discarding Chiwen and something random, along with a random spell or trap that you can pop with Baxia, you can actually just game them with this. So let's get started. Taotie is going to discard our Chiwen and something random. Here we have to summon the Suwani. Unless you discarded a Suwani, we just need access to a Suwani in the grave later on. And Zefra Synchro into Baxia. Spin 2, so we've already started clearing their field. Spin their like Feral Imps and whatnot. They might get a Trick Clown back, but whatever. Baxia destroys our Suwani. This summons Taotie from the grave. Chiwen summons itself from the grave. Zefra summons from the deck due to Suwani. We're going to Synchro into Baxia. Activate our random or set our random spell trap that we can pop with Baxia. Pop it, summon back Suwani. At this point, you have 2 options. If they're on 7,000 or lower, you can Synchro for a Light Chelfing, and these 3 guys add up to exactly 7,000. You have the Light Chelfing, which is going to prevent them from surviving with a Damage Juggler. Or if they're above 7,000 and you have no choice but to YOLO it through the Damage Juggler, you can Synchro your Suwani and Chiwen into High Speed Roy Chamber Rider. Here, Chamber Rider is going to start off with 2-5. It's going to go up to 2-7 on the first attack and 2-9 on the second attack. So this guy is going to do 5,600 by itself. And these 3 add up to a total of 10,200 damage. So that's OTK through 2 upstarts. And if it fails, you still have the overlay for Felgrand option. Let's just hope it doesn't, because you're probably doing this through Maxi or something. Now, another interesting to note is that even if you don't discard Chiwen, there might still be a chance for you to do 8,000, and that is if you have the Yangzing Prana. So if you have these 4 cards, for example, Taotie discards our 2 Yangzing cards, summoning our Zefra and Suwani. We're going to Synchro for Baxia. Baxia pops Suwani, grabs back Taotie, second Zefra from the deck, Synchro summon, second Baxia, activate our useless spell or trap, pop it for Suwani, At this point, since I did discard the BN, we're going to have 2 attributes in the graveyard, and we can activate Prana. So since we have 2 attributes of Yang Zings in the graveyard, we're going to be able to get the first effect, which is all Yang Zings gain 500. So 282824, that works out to be exactly 8,000. And that's another OTK combo you can consider when you're considering if you want to run the Prana or not.